Very, very good morning to all of you. Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, past President, IMA, Mr. Balaji, Head Governance Risk and Compliance Air India, the President of IMA, office bearers, and my dear distinguished delegates, I consider this as a great honor and privilege to be with you on this very, very important 2 days conference to share a couple of our thoughts. Even though the topic given to me is ISRO's role in transforming India's economy and security, anyway, I will cover this area, but I thought it is appropriate, first of all, to talk about the historical growth of Indian space program, where we started today, where we stand, and what are we going to do. Then, of course, our role, specific role in transforming India's economy and security. So the presentation is structured to give the entire activities and the future plans and our role on this area. When you talk about when we got independence, 1941, you all know the country status. Almost 97% people were below the poverty line, and the education, we were hardly 12% people were literate, and hardly 2,850 primary schools only in the country. No standard institutions and All India Institute of Medical Science. And infrastructure growth, we were very, very average. Today, if you look at growth, every sector we have grown from 1947 to now. Education, if you take as a sector, from 12% literacy level, we have come to a level of something around close to 10%. We have established standard institutes, IIMs, Institute of Medical Sciences, NITs, and central universities. And education really one of the vibrant education system. We can always criticize ourselves, but then we also should understand and appreciate our growth. And economy, the 1950s, I still remember when I was in primary school, when you say below poverty line 97.5 people, it's an English word. I don't know how many of us really understand the meaning of the word, but I understand like this. I am from a village in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu, and my village 150 families. In 70s, early 70s, hardly 30% people only had the opportunity to take food more than one time per day. That was the stage. From that, we have come a long way. Today, we have bypassed even UK, and we have reached the 4th economic status, and what is very great growth. And then we are aiming for the 3rd position. Surely we will get the 3rd position, and India is going to become a developed country before we celebrate 100 years of independence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Now, when you look at the space sector as one of the area, a lot of things have been done. It was in the year 1962, the Indian space activity was started, and the is very given here. And it was Vikram Sarabhai, along with his colleagues, the program was started. And the entire thing was to bring advanced space technology for the benefit of the common man. Now, to do that, we have to do a lot of things. Number one, we have to develop a lot of satellites of different types. And we had to have the capability to launch. And also, we had the capability to utilize the data. And the development occurred concurrently in all the places together. And if you look at the activity was started in the year 1962 in a fisherman village, and it was 1963, November 21st, that was a major milestone for us. The first tiny rocket was launched from Indian soil. The rocket was donated by USA, and then the sodium vapor lamp payload came from France, and we assembled in this church building, and it was launched. And truly, at that point of time, we were 70 years behind the advanced countries in activity. From that humble beginning, July 30th was a historical day for us. And we had launched the NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite. And there was a payload called L-band SAR payload. a 12-meter unfurlable antenna. The cost for the development was 10,300 crore. This was invested by JPL NASA. And an equivalent payload we have built. And the entire satellite was built by Indians in India and launched by our own rocket, placing the satellite precisely in the required orbit. So that is the type of growth from a humble beginning to here. Now, these are all some of the major milestones. 15th August 1969, ISRO was formed. 1969 is a very important year. You know, the Neil Armstrong landed on the moon and he was brought back safely. That time, we were having, our position was just we have entered into the space activity. And you can see a photograph on the right side of the slide. It is actual photograph. Those days, the rocket parts used to be transported in bicycle, not new bicycle, old bicycle. That was the stature. From that bicycle era, we have come a long way. So during my presentation, I will just explain the growth has happened during last 63 years and what is the target for next 22 years, and economically, strategically, what is our contribution. And the entire activities of space activities done under 6 headings. We have got the launch vehicle development, satellite-related activities, applications, human spaceflight program, and capacity building. And recently, we have introduced a topic called space science and astronomy. And if you take the our ability of the launch vehicle building, 1963, we were not having anything. From that, to our credit, we have launched 4,000 plus 70 rockets from Indian soil till today. And 1979, we launched the first launcher, the SLV-3. The capability of the launch vehicle was just 35 kg and the mission could not be successfully accomplished. And 1980, we had the first successful launch. From that, till today, 102 launch vehicle missions we have accomplished and 6 generations of launches we have built. And the 100th launch was this year, January 29th. In fact, after 41 years of service, I had the privilege, opportunity to lead the organization from January 13th, and January 29th was the 100th launch, and that was a very, very important launch. And we were very particular to have a perfect success, and I want to tell that it was a perfect, successful launch, and we have written in the golden letters in Indian space history, the 100th launch was a perfect, successful launch. And coming to the technology of launcher, a lot of technology has to be developed. I am not going to talk about that technology growth, propulsion, inertial systems, structures, materials, manufacturing, a lot of things has to be done. Coming to satellites, till 55 years back, India was not having satellite technology. It was exactly 50 years back, April 1975, the first satellite, Aryabhatta satellite, was built with the support of Russia, then USSR, and launched by USSR launch vehicle. From that place, today we have come a long way. To our credit, we have conceived and built and launched something around 133 satellites of various types. And the heaviest satellite is the GSAT-11 high throughput satellite, 6,000 kg satellite. Right now, it is in the orbit, serving the common man of the country. And when you talk about a satellite, it involves a lot of technologies. And now if you see our growth, the optical cameras, we started with the resolution. You all know camera resolution. 1 kilometer was the resolution when we started the game. Then we gradually moved to 72 meter and 36 meter. Today, we are having sub-meter resolution capability, 0.28 meter, 28 centimeter capability. And I would like to tell one thing, you know, in the moon's orbit, who is having the best camera in the world right now? Sorry, I didn't hear. India is having the best camera in the moon's orbit, 32 centimeter resolution. And the next goes to 50 centimeter resolution for other countries. So that is the type of growth. And another thing is synthetic aperture radar satellites. You know, when you take optical camera, if there is a cloud or rain, you cannot take photographs. And synthetic aperture radar cameras with the payloads, it can give photographs 24/7, all 365 days, irrespective of the weather condition, cloud or raining, it can give. So that capability we have built. And recent satellite, whatever we have launched, one of the best camera, this one, payload, SAR payload we have developed and placed in the orbit. And the space infrastructure, told there are 133 satellites till today, and 56 are currently in operation. And one of the important responsibility, role of ISRO is to ensure security of every citizen of Bharat. And this is perfectly done. And I think in the last talk, you would have general talking about this little bit. And Sindoor operation, our satellites, I cannot talk too much, but I want to tell all satellites who are working 24 perfectly, it was working and enabled requirement. And coming to application, Honorable Prime Minister always make one statement: there should not be any gap between space and common man of this country. The space should be always with the common man and really benefiting the common man. Now, exactly 50 years back, 1st August 1975, we demonstrated first time an experiment called site experiment. 2,400 television in 2,400 villages in 6 states. And we wanted to demonstrate mass communication. Even for that, a satellite signal was given by USA, ATS-6 satellite data was given, and it was a mass communication was. From that, till today, there are something around 55 applications are there, and we are serving the common man of this country in multiple areas. For example, earth observation in food security, water security, cartography, finding the potential fishery zone, media applications, and SATCOM application, telemedicine, teleeducation, search and rescue operation, NAVIC applications. You know, today, 10,400 trains are real time we are tracking. 35,000 shipping vessels are real time tracked. And then coming to disaster warning and mitigation is in another important area. We serve the country in this area, weather forecasting and strategic applications. Actually, if somebody has to talk about this application, that will take more than 5 hours. You take telecommunication as an example. You know, 40 years back, if somebody has to make a phone call from Kanyakumari to Delhi, you know what is involved? Somebody has to go to a trunk booth 2 hours, and we have to make that call. And when you connect also, within few seconds, you will get disconnected. Then we have to go back. I have done. We used to be in the queue. Then when it gets disconnected, nobody will allow us to dial. You have to come back in the queue and you have to wait. From that today, I think we have come a long way. And really, the satellite communication really plays a crucial role. Now coming to the train tracking. For example, some of our relatives coming from other part of the country to Delhi, by train, you used to get a letter and one has to go to the railway station and wait. After going there only, you will understand the train is coming 2 hours late or 3 hours late. Then that too, the railway department will not release the quota at a time. First 2 hours delayed, then close to 2 hours, they will tell another 1 hour delay. But today, everything is monitored and real time. Disaster warning and mitigation. You know, when disaster used to happen, we used to lose a lot of our brothers and sisters. For example, Odisha, when there was a cyclone, 10,000 of our brothers and sisters were lost. But today, I cannot claim we have perfectly solved the problem, but we have reduced the losses through the space system. And strategic area, you know, India is having so much seashore, and our neighbors are not that good for us in this area, and we have to really protect the country, so we are doing a lot of things. And coming to the television broadcasting, I think you all may be knowing, 30 years back, there was a program called Chitragar, and every Friday you get 5 songs. And if you miss, you have to wait for 1 more week. And from that, today, you know what has happened. So thereby, lot of applications, so last 50 years, lot of things are done. Now coming to the entire accomplishments of ISRO, it is one slide. And the last 63 years, what is done is 4,000 plus sounding rockets, 133 satellites, and one. And if you see the growth, that is what is important. Growth is exponential is happening. And for example, 2006 to 2015, we had 30 launches. And next 10 years, 16 numbers are going to be doubled. In the same case with satellite, so the growth is exponential. Now, a country which started the space program almost 63 years back, but then actual activity started only 50 years back. And we were moving our rockets in bicycles, satellites in bullock carts. From that era, today I am very happy to inform this august audience, 9 places we are number 1 in the world today. 9 places. Number 1, Chandrayaan-1 finding water molecule on the moon, along with India. Every Indian it made proud. We are the 2 countries which found water molecule on the moon. And Mars orbiter mission to go to red planet, 68 crore kilometers we have to travel. And I think you all know, even though management experts, little bit trigonometry. If you calculate with 0.1 degree error, when you travel 68 crore kilometers, where we will reach? We will not reach Mars, we will reach some other place. And we have perfectly gone and captured the satellite using an engine which was restarted after 295 days. And India is the only country, first country till today successfully accomplished a Mars orbiter mission in the first attempt. None of the developed country could do. And 1957, Russia placed the first satellite Sputnik in the orbit. And they placed using a single rocket, 37 satellites. And we debated in Trivandrum, we are all toppers, but then the advanced countries are not really minding us. So how to get some attention or how to get world record? We debated and decided to place 100 satellites through a single rocket. Placing 100 is very easy, but then it should not hit each other. And dear brothers, I want to tell, India is the only country, rather first country which crossed placing 100 satellites through a single rocket for the first time through the PSLV in 2017. We were holding the record for a long time. And of course, today, America has placed more number of satellites, but then if required, we can place even 200 satellites through a single rocket. We are not competing with anybody, and we had the technology. Take Chandrayaan-2, as I told, the Chandrayaan-2 has placed a best camera in the orbit, and India is having the best camera in the moon orbit. Chandrayaan-3, August 23rd, 2023 was a historical day, and India is the only country and first country which has placed the Chandrayaan near the south pole of moon, and we are having the world record today. And the cryogenic rocket engine development. The rocket engine is very, very important component of any rocket or space program. The difference between rocket engine and car engine, functionally, there is no difference. The car engine, what it does? It takes either human being or some object from one place to another place. Rocket does same thing. Rocket engines also has to do same thing. Either it transport satellite from ground to orbit or human being from ground to orbit. This is the functionality same. But the small difference is car engines goes in Delhi road maximum 100 km/h and capabilities maybe 120 km/h. But to place a Chandrayaan-3 in the orbit, we have to use 37,000 km/h velocity. And that is done by rocket engines. And the best engine is using liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. And the technology was denied to India, because every country knows if the technology is denied to India, India cannot have a meaningful space program. Thanks to those countries. And today, we have developed 3 cryogenic propulsion systems, and we are one among 6 countries having that great technology with us. Not only that, really, initially we had a MOU with Russia, and at one point of time when the MOU was closed, we were insulted. And today, I want to tell 3 world records we have made in the cryogenic development. In fact, I was so happy and blessed to be the project director of the Mark III cryogenic propulsion system. Generally, other countries take 10 engines for qualification, then only they go for the flight. And we have completed the development and succeeded only using 3 engines against the world record of minimum 4 engines. And between the development of the first engine test to flight, other countries have taken something around 37 months to 108 months. We set a target of 24 months, And we have accomplished with 28 months, and we are holding the #1 position. A stage level test where we have to use 5,000 kg of liquid hydrogen. You know, hydrogen, if you handle properly, it will work as a fuel. If you don't handle, it will explode. If 5,000 kg of hydrogen explode, almost 10-kilometer radius, nothing will be there. And we have built a test stand, 1,000 crore, spending 10 years, and we have to do experiment in that. Generally, people do a lot of experiments, spending crores of rupees. Before going, at least some 300-400 crore rupee is spent on carrying out experiment, then only people authorize the test. So Kiran Kumar sir was the chairman and I was the project director. We were thinking what to do. Finally, we put a proposal, no experiment will be done, because our country, when you work on this type of program, you also should be sensitive about the villages and the economic status of the country. So whatever we can do by digital simulation, we didn't want to do experiment. We asked for a permission. And permission was very simple. We will not do an experiment directly, we will authorize the test. But risk involved is any mistake, a 1,000 crore facility built over 10 years will not be there in 10 milliseconds. And 10-kilometer radius, nothing will be escaping. And you can understand, I still remember, I can share with you, when the proposal was presented. I was the project director, I had 56 members in my team, nobody was convinced. And then I forced one of my team members to present, because PD should not present, PD is supposed to defend. When he presented, the question asked to us, very simple question, this foolish idea belongs to whom? This was the question in the review forum. And my friend was so happy with this question, this idea will be killed. Then I had to get up and tell, if it is intelligent idea, this belongs to 56 of my team members. If it is foolish idea, I am the fool. And I had to accept that. And with that, finally, our chairman cleared, believing the team. And today, I want to tell, it is a history. We have completed this development in 34 days against the world record of 68 days minimum and average time of 10 months. And this record, in my opinion, cannot be broken by any other countries even next 50 years. Because nobody is going to take such a risk, and Indians could take such a risk, and we could succeed. And we are also setting another 10, almost 10 world records in next 3 years. But anyway, I am not going to dwell on that. Global leadership role. You know, when Honorable Prime Minister took over as the Prime Minister of this country, we got a direction and guideline, and we have built a satellite, South Asia satellite, and we have launched and donated to South Asian countries. G20 satellite, today we are building a satellite for G20 countries, and 70% work is done by India, and this is going to be a Earth observation satellite, which is going to be, the data will be used by all the people. NISR, a country which got a tiny rocket as a donation, and which got a satellite signal for demonstrating the application from USA. Today, we are rubbing shoulder to shoulder, and we have succeeded. And coming to commercial thing, till today, 14 dedicated commercial missions are done, and 433 satellites of 34 countries are launched during last 10 years. And Aditya L1, this year is a very historical and accomplished year. And on January 2024, Aditya L1 was launched, placed in the orbit. And India is one among 4 countries having a satellite. And here we have released almost 13 terabit data of the Aditya L1. And you can see the video, how you can Google and you can find scientific discoveries happening. Docking experiment. You know, when you talk about docking, imagine 2 cars are going in Delhi road with 100 km/h speed. And if these 2 has to be connected without hitting each other software, you know what is involved. And 28,400 km/h, 2 satellites were rotating in the orbit. Using a set of cameras, algorithm, everything, we have docked successfully. And India becoming that too this year, January 16, India becoming one among 4 countries demonstrating this great technology. And that was done this year. And of course, as I told, the 100th launch was a perfect launch. And Sindoor operation, in fact, it is a strategic nature, so I have not put anything. Everything was removed from the slide. But only thing I want to tell, 24/7, something around 400 scientists were full-time working. And today I'm happy to announce all the satellites used for Earth observation and communication purpose was perfectly working and supporting this operation. And you can see the performance of NISR, the orbit. Within 3 kilometers, this person we have placed the satellite. The entire NASA team was totally praising Indians. They could not believe such accuracy of this launch. And now the satellite is totally healthy and it is going to be useful for the global community. We are also working with Ministry of Earth Sciences. They are going to send a program. They are having a program called Samudrayan, sending a vessel 6 kilometers inside the sea. And a 2.2 meter diameter vessel has to be realized. And you can understand 6 kilometers means 600 bar pressure will be acting. So it is a 100 millimeter thickness titanium shell, 2.2 meter diameter. This particular responsibility is given to ISRO. We are in the final phase of realizing this hardware. Gaganyaan program, sending our own brothers or sisters to space and bring them back safely. And this involves a lot of activities, including human rating of the rocket and the environmental control and safety system development. I would like to tell one thing. It was announced on August 15, 2018 by Honorable Prime Minister. That day, as the director of the LPSC, I was in the office doing the honor of hoisting the national flag. So, important functions, you don't look at the mobile. Mobile was inside the car. After 3 hours, I had the access to my mobile. I took the mobile and there was a message in the mobile. And the message was very simple. Honorable Prime Minister has announced this program, Gaganyaan program. I want to be the astronaut. So are you allowing me? This was the question. By seeing, I was little disturbed, not disturbed. And then how to reply? The question was from my daughter who is sitting here. She is also a management expert, Divya. And then I sent a reply. We will discuss in the house in the evening. This is the reply I sent. And evening when I came, 7 o'clock, in between she was confirming when I am reaching home. She was waiting in the hall. She asked, I sent a question, but you gave a confusing reply. Then I told, what is the confusing reply? Either you should have told yes or no. You have not given that. You told we'll discuss. Please tell me the engines and rockets, whatever you are designing, will it work or not? This was the question. Now, dear brothers, I want to tell one thing. Whenever we are working on this program, we are sensitive about the topic. And I have already told my colleagues when I went back yesterday, please think our own children are going to fly in the rockets. So we have to be very careful and we should have got only success and only success. And we are very cautiously and sincerely working. I don't have any doubt we'll have perfect, successful first mission. And this year, December, we are going to have the first uncrewed mission. And 2027, first quarter, we'll have the actual mission. Probably you can see this video. Audio is not working. What happened to audio? You are not hearing the audio, no?
वे अंतरिक्ष में जाएंगे, हाथ में तिरंगा झंडा लेकर के जाएंगे.
No, this will give you a feel of how the entire mission is going to happen. That's why I thought better to show this video. So it is our own rocket. We have already improved the reliability. We have done all the activities. And environmental control system already we have completed the development.
The Gaganyaan project of ISRO is a giant leap forward, our nation's first human spaceflight mission. This ambitious mission aims to send Indian astronauts into orbit at an altitude of 400 kilometers for 1 to 3 days and return them safely to Earth. Before the manned flight, ISRO is conducting several key test missions, including the integrated airdrop test, pad abort test, vehicle flights.
And we have to carry out
these unmanned missions will ensure all systems meet the highest safety and reliability standards.
2035 तक अंतरिक्ष में.
I think we'll move forward. Now you all know, recently we had a very important mission. Subhasnu Shukla name is well known to everyone. And he is the second Indian to go to space and first Indian sent to International Space Station. The entire credit should go to Honorable Prime Minister. He strongly felt that better to send a person, one of the Gaganyaan 3 out of 4 what we selected, to International Space Station so that we will gain confidence before the actual Gaganyaan program. And he was sent to space and he has come back safely. He carried out 7 experiments. But one of the important role done by the Indians are, originally this mission happened on June 25th. And originally it was the rocket launch was scheduled on June 11th. And June 4th, June 10th, we came to know the rocket was having a problem. There was a leakage. And it was Indian who insisted for complete correction. And when they inspected the rocket, there was a crack. And finally, everything was corrected. And today we have successfully accomplished the mission. But for Indians, it would have been a catastrophic failure. And we are very happy that we are second to none, even holding a wrong rocket and ensuring safety of the astronauts. And our future programs, lot of programs are there. We are going to have a Chandrayaan 4 mission, Venus orbiter mission, Chandrayaan 5 mission. Chandrayaan 4 is a sample return mission. Chandrayaan 5 is a heavy lander mission. Chandrayaan 3, we had 1,600 kg lander. Here it is 6,800 kg lander. And the life of Chandrayaan 3 was only 14 days. This will be 100 days. So we are working for all these programs. And we are also working for improving the payload capability of our launches. Reusable launch vehicle technology we are working. And Gaganyaan program, there are 8 missions already approved. And India is going to build its own space station by 2035. A 52-ton space station, and the first module will be placed in the orbit by 2028. And we are working on a program for sending man to moon and bring him back safely. Honorable Prime Minister has given this direction. And a rocket is already conceived. There are 40-story building height rocket and capable of taking 80,000 kg to low Earth orbit. You can see the Kudupinar and the rocket height. And the first rocket, what was sent successfully, was having the capability only to take 35 kg to low Earth orbit. And this rocket can take 80,000 kg to low Earth orbit. And the space sector reform, that is very, very important. And this is the place we are looking for the economy. And right now, we are authorizing the private sector and industry startups to do the space activities. In fact, all the 3 rockets what we are having, we are gradually transferring the technology to Indian industries for them to produce. And coming to the missions, India is working, ISRO is working on mission management. This year, there are 12 launches which is targeted this finance year. We already completed 3, and remaining we are going to complete before March. I think I will not dwell on this, but one important thing is we are going to have very important mission. A 6,500 kg communication satellite of USA is going to be lifted off from Indian soil within few months purely on commercial basis. And coming to the space economy, when we started our space program, we are not looking on the space economy aspects. We are working only how to serve the common man of this country. We have the technology we have to build from fundamentals. Today, when we assessed, out of $440 billion, our share is hardly only 2%. So we are gradually increasing to 8% by 2033 and 15% by 2047. Towards that, lot of things has to be done. Lot of very important activities has to take place. And today I am very happy to inform that 450 industrial partners are working with us. And 10 years back, we had only 3 startup companies. And now we are having 300 plus startup companies in the country. And by 2040, we have targeted to land Indian on moon using our own rocket and bring him back safely. This is the target what Honorable Prime Minister has given. We are working towards that. I think the entire space activities put in one side, starting from bullock cart and bicycle era. Now, our Honorable Minister of State used to make a statement. By 2040, India will be in par with any other country in the space activity and will be in par. And 2040, we are going to land man on moon. And with Indian flag, Indian is going to say that India is going to become a developed country in another few years. That is the message we are going to say by landing by 2040. And really, when you look at, we are having something around 70 projects. So the project management role is a very, very crucial role. When I was the project director of a very important project, as I told, 3 world records, and the entire project was executed with 80% of the allocated budget. Because we know we are very sensitive on cost. Every trust we authorize after thoroughly analyzing and discussing, looking at the country in the village side. And this sensitiveness is the reason for reducing the launch cost. For example, Mars orbiter mission, whatever we have accomplished, Honorable Prime Minister used to make a statement, per kilometer travel, whatever we have spent is less than auto fare. That is because of highly sensitive nature of the team. And with this, let me thank IMA for giving me this great opportunity to stand in front of you. Talking about activities completed in 63 years and target for next 22 years, 85 years activities in 25 minutes is, I know it is difficult, but then I also know I have exceeded the time little bit. Thank you. Jai Hind.